What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Today I am going to talk to you guys about my experience in cosmetology school. And for some of you guys that may or may not know, I got my cosmetology license on December 11th, a few weeks ago. And let me just tell you, it wasn't easy. So basically a little background story about cosmetology school. I started cosmetology school in 2016. I went to school at a community college. So unlike other beauty schools, it's not 9 months or however long it is, 9 or 10 months. My program was 3 semesters. So it's like freshman semester, junior semester, senior semester. So the freshman semester is one side of the department by itself, and then the junior senior side is another department. On the freshman side, you basically learn like your the basics. You learn you talk about the state board, you learn the basics of safety and infection control procedures, and then you go on to learning your operations. So it's like let me read the little list. So the operations that you learn about, like I said, work area, client protection, thermal curling, hair cutting, chemical waving, predisposition test. A predisposition test is a test you do to make sure that your clients aren't allergic to hair color. So you put it behind the ear or on the arm for 24 hours, and then they go home before you do a permanent hair color service or semi-permanent. You have to do it for both. Highlighting and foils, virgin color, color retouch, virgin relaxer, blood exposure procedure, facial, and then you learn how to do nails. But the thing that they teach you for the board is to do a nail with the form. So then once you do all of that, then you go to the so you have to have 1,600 hours in order to go to the state board. You have to have like, I don't know how many hours you have to apply to the test. For the test, I don't remember, but basically, yeah. So you do 500 hours, 540 something hours on the freshman side. Then you do 540 something hours on the junior side, 540 something hours on the senior side. The senior and junior side is one classroom. The freshman side is another classroom. You want? It was about 40 students on the freshman side, and then people drop and aren't there, and then it's like 40 some people between the juniors and the seniors on the junior senior side. So that's that basically. Pros and cons about the school. You might go into the school thinking that you're gonna learn like how to do all this amazing stuff, and you do get a chance to be creative with like finals and everything, because like I said, it is a community college, so we do have to take finals, and some of our instructors, they would create different things for us to do. But on the other side of it, it is just so that you can know how to protect your client and how to do these procedures for the state board. That's what school is about, for you to pass the state board, pretty much. It's not for you to know how to do everything perfectly or be this great hairstylist. When you walk out, you're still gonna make errors, you're still gonna mess up, you're still gonna probably take somebody's hair out, who knows. But it's not like that. So I just want you guys not to have that idea in your head like, oh, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do this and that, I'm gonna kill it. Like, yeah, you can kill it. You know how to do that haircut, that 45, that 90, that one length. Learn how to put a relaxer on right and not put it in the front of somebody's head when it's a virgin relaxer, different things like that. So they prepare you for the state board. So that's one of the cons. Another con is that you're there all day. You're there 7:45 in the morning to 8 technically, but 7:45. You're there till 3 in the afternoon. So it's like, if you take the morning class, but that's one pro about like the program that I had. You can take the class at night too. You don't have to take it during the day for people that work and stuff. Also, with my school, the one thing that I didn't really care for was that it wasn't really anything that anybody could control but the system. So we would clock in, and some days the system would be shut down, so it would just delete our hours for that day. And it's like when you're getting closer to applying for your test or closer to being done with the program, and you don't have those many hours, and you're about to go to state board, it's like, sis, what happened to my hours. So there was just like some things that needed to be worked on with that. And then there was all, like I said, I went into school thinking that I was going to learn like these different things, and it's like I knew how to do a relaxer, I knew how to do a weave, but I knew how to use a hot comb, or at least I thought, but I've never used the stove. So it's like they give you the stove in your kit, which is $1,400, by the way. Your kit's $1,400 for the school that I went to, and you get a stove in your kit, and you don't get the hot comb, you have to buy it. But we didn't really do a lot of that, so it's like I didn't get to do it really in school unless I was doing a client. So it's like pretty much it was me and like 3 other girls that were doing that every week. The pros about going to school where I went, I got financial aid for it. I paid for my kit with my financial aid, but basically it like took my whole first financial aid check, but it was worth it. I got everything that I needed to have in order to do everything that I needed to do in school. Also, another pro was like a lot of the teachers were really, really, really helpful. Miss Thomas, she's amazing. Miss Miller was like the shit. So it was like Miss P, she was really, really helpful. There was a lot of instructors that, you know, they came together to help us do what we needed to do, and they were very understanding to like our lives. Like a lot of us worked. A lot of people had like kids and stuff, so they were like understanding to like certain stuff. Like if somebody had to leave early for work, there's just different things, but it's like you work your way around it. You come in and you do what you need to do. Another pro was that we would do like our baby board. Baby board is like a practice state board test, and we would do it on we got to do it on the senior side, so that's a con. We didn't do it as juniors, we only did it as seniors, but when we did it, like Miss Thomas made sure that we were on it. And then for one of our finals, so I started school in August 2016, I finished in December 2017, and my state board test was in February. We did like a full run state board, baby board practice for 4 hours in December, like right before I took my test. And then there was a few girls that took their test in December that got to have that little 4-hour practice. I think one girl had her test like a week or like the next few days after that, which was really, really cool. But yeah, so basically you're in school to do that. The school's not hard. It's just as long as you come, you're doing your operations. So basically you have like you have a set amount of operations that you need to do. Like you have a set amount of operations that you need to do. So like you have to do 200 wet sets. So once you get those operations, then it goes towards like your grade. You have to do a certain amount of perms, but the thing is, it's like there's so many things that you have to do, but it's good because you're practicing it. Like so many haircuts, which you could really knock the haircuts out in like the first semester if you really wanted to, because we do so many haircuts, and then it's like the first time you do a haircut, it's just a 1 layer, like a 0 layer, and then we do like the square haircut, then we do the 45, different things like that. And I'm trying to think of other stuff, but that sounds like that's pretty much it for the cosmetology school. I talked about the financial aid. I talked about the difference between the 9-month program for people that go to like private schools like Paul Mitchell and stuff like that versus going to a community college. Oh, that was another thing with the community college. It's 3 semesters long because we get like, so we go to school from August to December, and then we have our break for a whole month, and then we go back to school in January, and then we get out in May, and we have a whole break. So it's like you could only be in the school for a certain amount of hours, and then it's like the curriculum is definitely different because, like I said, we do have to take a final and stuff. But overall, my experience at the school was good. I did learn a lot, and I was also very fortunate to be able to I got to I don't want to say train, but like shadow in a shop. I'm not gonna say what shop or whose shop it was, but I got the shadow in a salon, and it was really, really nice. Everybody there is like amazing. It was amazing. Of course, I couldn't like do anything on people because I'm not licensed, but I did get the shadow, and I did get to see the reality of what you are gonna do in a shop versus how it is at State Board. So when I say that, I'm not saying that what you're doing at State Board is not what you're supposed to do at the shop, but like, for example, they teach you how to do, they want you to do a virgin relaxer at the State Board. If you're doing somebody's hair that's this short and you're just doing a relaxer touch up, you're not gonna always start in the back. You're just gonna slap it on and just go. And it's just things like that. Like, you don't want to pick up habits, and you don't want to like you don't want to be going into school like that. So you don't want to be finishing school, going to the board, and then thinking to do that. I mean, of course, anybody with common sense wouldn't, but yeah. And then you like, there's people that come into school and they're like, well, I know everything and this and that, and I don't have to listen and blah blah blah. But it's like, sis, you don't know anything. If you knew something, you wouldn't be here. If you knew everything, you wouldn't be taking the course like the rest of us. So that's that. T. But okay, so the State Board. That junk was hard. No, I'm just kidding. The State Board was common sense. It's everything that you learn. Everything that you learn in school. Everything that they're supposed to teach you, from the haircut to how to hold the scissors, how to palm the shears, things like that. Is what you're going to do at the State Board. How to section the hair for when you're doing a haircut, depending on the haircut. How to base the scalp before you do a relaxer. How when you're doing a virgin relaxer, you're supposed to start in the back. It's things like that. So it's pretty much common sense. If you go into school and you do everything that you need to do from the moment you walk in there to the moment you walk out with your little paper saying, I completed my 1,600 hours in the state of California and all that other stuff. So I'm going to talk about the kits first. So okay, no, I'm not going to talk about the kits. So rewind. I'm going to talk about how you got to get up at or be at the kit place at 5 in the morning if you're going to rent a kit. Now, the good thing about renting the kits is that they put it all together. They put everything that you need, and if there's something that you don't have that you need in there, they'll ask you in the beginning, like, hey, does everybody have everything that they need? Yeah, they'll ask you, does anybody have everything that they need in their kit? And if not, raise your hand, blah, 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 blah. So they put together the kit, and it's like $150 to $200. Now, I said $150 because the first time I went, I paid $150 because I had a mannequin. So it's $200 if you don't have a mannequin. And then I think if you don't have if you have the mannequin, the tripod stand, the hand, and a jacket, which you don't have to wear, then your kit's gonna be like $100. But if you get everything, like the mannequin head, the tripod, the hand, and all that other stuff outside of the kit, with the kit, it's gonna be $200. But I had a head, so I just used that same doll that I was saving from school to do my test. And the only thing is, the doll can't be pre-sectioned. It can't be one of those pre-sectioned dolls, and it could be one of the dolls that the head snaps off from the back. I don't know if people seen those. It could be one of those, but yeah, it can't be a pre-sectioned doll telling you where to put the hair color and stuff. So that's that. And then the thing about the kit place is there's a lady in there. She's a licensed cosmetologist. She'll explain to you what you need to do when the proctor, the person who gives the test, tells you to take out your supplies to start your test. She explains it all full through, so you have to make sure that you're listening. And she's really good at giving you the instructions. But also, you can make your kit. The only thing is, it might just be more expensive. And it's if you leave something out, say you leave your scissors, you can't do your haircut because you can't turn to somebody and say, hey, let me borrow your scissors. You can't do that. You can't talk to anybody. You can't even really look at anybody when you're taking the test. And I know people say like, oh, don't look at the proctor, don't smile at the proctor, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not true. You can look at them if you want to. They're not going to be like, don't look at me, I'm going to mark off your points. It's just like, just do what you need to do, basically. The test is easy. You start off with the you start off like getting your stuff out, and then they'll tell you to sanitize your area. You do your thermal curling, and then you do your haircut, and then you do your chemical services, and then after that you do like your facial and then your nail, and you're done. But the test is 4 hours, so it's like you go, you do the first half before the perm, and then you get a break, and then you come back, and then you finish the rest, and then you go to lunch, and then you come back and you take your written. I passed my written test the first time, so it's like the scoreboard goes from like whatever to 100, but you have to get a 75 or better to pass both parts. And on the written, I got on the written test, if I'm not mistaken, it was either 85 or 83. So I passed the written with flying colors, which is the written test is basically it is 3rd grade science, pretty much. Except for there's like a test on there's a question on there about like combustion or something like that. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, I know what combustion is, but I didn't know what the question was like asking me, because I, like never learned that in school. So I was like, combustion, and I just answered. I just used common knowledge and gave an answer. And then there's and then the written, I passed the written with a 7. I mean the practical. Then there's the practical. I passed the practical with a 73. So I missed by 2 points. So basically, honestly, I want to say it's really on the proctor to give you the points, because they know how many points you need to take that to pass that test. They know where you're gonna miss points from and all that other type of stuff. So it's really on them. And I'm not saying like kiss up to them, because you really just can't, like. But if you're not holding your shears right, or if you don't wipe up some water, or if they feel like you're so nervous that you're not doing everything right, they won't pass you. And honestly, when I took it and I didn't pass, I was like, I'm not coming back, I'm not taking this shit, I'll do something else, blah 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 blah. But then I was just like, I have such a good like support system behind me, and I put in all those hours and woke up every day to get up for school, whether I was late or not, got my ass up and clocked in and did those operations and dealt with all them crazy girls in that classroom for a whole year almost, every day, too many emotions and all that other stuff. I did put in too much work to not go back and get my license. And so I went back and I did what I had to do, and I passed my test. And I was really, really happy. And honestly, I was getting like discouraged, and I was getting nervous, because when I went this time, okay, rewind again. So there's when I went and took the test the first time, there was one proctor. You get one person in the room giving you the test. This time when I went, some of the girls were like, yeah, I had this lady and she was really mean and da-da-da-da-da and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, girl, stop talking to me. I don't like to talk to people.
Leave me alone. Fuck out my face.
I don't like to talk to people when, I'm coming to take a test, because it's like, you're making me nervous. I don't need that nervous energy over here. Back up. So then, that was that. So everybody's like, yeah, and she's so mean and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I can't listen to my earphones, because you can't bring your phone in there or anything like that. So they just kept yapping. And then the lady comes out and was like, oh yeah, so we have some new rules and da-da-da-da-da and blah, blah, blah. So you're going to have all the proctors that are here today. Not all at one time, but they're all going to come in the room and give you different parts of the test. And I was like, oh. And so they were like, yeah, so I raised my hand and I'm like, excuse me, so if I had a proctor before and I don't want her again, then what do I do? And they're like, I mean, you could tell us, but you're still gonna get her anyway. So it's like, I had the lady that everybody kept talking about, and I had her before, so it was like, oh my God. And like, I'm not gonna describe the lady or anything, and I'm not gonna say anything that everybody else was saying about her, but all I'm gonna say is she does come in and try to intimidate students, and don't let her intimidate you. do what you need to do to pass that test, because baby girl, let me tell you, she's gonna do it. But I passed the test anyway, and I was so excited. And to me right now, it still feels like so unreal, because I'm like, I put in so much work for that, and I went to cry. No, I came home and I know I cried. Because it really is like an accomplishment, and it's like when you go through so many things and you like really bust your ass, and you know you have people, like I have like my cousins and like my friends that like support me and stuff like that, and my cousins really be on my ass to do everything that I need to do in order to succeed. And I really appreciate that, like, because I know if I would have given up and been like, I'm not doing it anymore, I'm just gonna do something else, it would have been like, all right now sis, so you wasted everybody's time and everybody's money, and you know you can do some hair and you know you can do some makeup. But I just wanted to make this video so that you guys can know and understand what it's like to be in school for all those hours of every day, and what it's like to go to the board. It's nothing to be nervous about. Like, of course you're gonna be nervous, because that's just human nature. It's a test that you spent your hard-earned money in school. You spent your hard-earned money getting there, or somebody else's hard-earned money getting there. You're spending your money to take this test and pay for this kit, and then it's like, if you don't pass, you got to come back and take it again. But it's like, it's really worth it. Like, yeah, $100 compared to the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that some people have to pay if they go to like private schools and they take out loans and stuff. Yikes. It's like, girl, you better go get that license and make it right back, period. But I just wanted to make this video because a lot of people were asking me like, oh, well, how was it, and blah blah blah, and was it hard? And it's like, nah, bruh, like the test ain't hard if you're doing everything you're supposed to do. No, I'm just kidding. The test is not hard. It's not hard at all. It's not anything to be scared of. And I know I'm one to talk, because I be getting nervous. I be ready to like walk out and cry. Then it's just like, do what you need to do. Don't let anybody intimidate you. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't take the test, or that you're gonna fail, or don't let anybody intimidate you while you taking the test. If you drop something, pick it up with a napkin, sanitize your hands, and go on about your test. Don't be nervous like, oh my god. I whole ass dropped the cotton for when you have to do the perm. I dropped the cotton, and I thought she didn't see, and I was gonna be like, I'm about to pick it up and use it, but I was like, nope. And I just improvised. I just took some tissue, not tissue, but a napkin, and I twisted it up, because you're only doing from here to the back, and that's how they train you in school. So it's not like I'm giving out any information I'm not supposed to. You do it from here to the end, so from the top to the nape. That's all you're doing. So you just need that much cotton, which they give to you in your kit. And I dropped that shit, and I was like, like, what am I supposed to do? And so when they came around, they were like, please demonstrate saturation and blah blah blah. And I took that thing and I wrapped it up, and I was like, I don't got no cotton. And then when I started the test, the curling iron wouldn't get hot, so I had to pretend I was curling the hair. I didn't even curl the hair the second time that I took the test. The curling iron didn't turn on. So it's like, it's little stuff like that you can't let discourage you, and you just have to do what you gotta do to pass that test. Do what you gotta do to finish school. Actually study for the little test that they give you. Actually study that book, because it is helpful, and you are gonna need it in life. Like, I don't care what anybody says, oh, I'm not gonna need that book. You're gonna need that book if you have a client that comes in and has some type of infection and you don't know what it is, or you don't remember because you went to school 10 years ago and you just were renewing your license every 2 years. You're gonna need that book. And you know, just different things like that. But I just wanted to inform you guys and talk about my experience, because I know there's I have a few friends that are not a few, but I have a friend that's in school now for cosmetology, and she loves it, and now we be like talking about it and stuff. So I have somebody to talk about my experience with. And then there's people that I do know that are in school still, are finishing, are gonna take their board in a few weeks, and they're like, oh my god, I'm so nervous. And it's like, sis, stop being nervous. Like, and I wish I had like somebody to tell me that. Like, I know there's people that passed and they're like, oh my god, yeah, like I passed. But it's like, nobody told me the things that I'm telling you guys. And especially about like beauty school, because I didn't know anybody that was in beauty school when I was taking beauty school. Everybody was already licensed and had been doing hair for like hella years. So it's like, we're not going in there with real people. We're not doing this. We're not doing a press and curl. Like, nobody's excuse me, nobody's telling me that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I was talking hecka fast, but I hope the video is informative and helpful, and I know you guys are glad that I'm finally doing a video. Thank you for watching.